Hello guys, welcome back to the F1 2020 career mode. We're here with, I believe, episode 5 here in Spain. Nothing happened in practice, so we are going to jump straight into qualifying, coming off the back of a pretty much perfect weekend. The only thing we could have done better was getting the fastest lap in the first race, but other than that, you know, we actually did bits in the Grand Prix. So you can see it's pretty cloudy here. We're going to do our traditional strategy, go out for one run. Obviously, you know, doing a few laps on that set of tyres. Hopefully trying to see what we can do. It's about 13 minutes in. The track temp's actually going down a little bit, as well as the potential for rain. So obviously that's not great. I'm going to see what we can do. We're going to come across the line for our first lap. Currently it's P1, 129.1, which is a decent gap to our rival, which is Jordan King. Shock horror, we're fighting him again. But going faster again, obviously as the track rubbers in, it's almost a second improvement, a 28.1. So we're absolutely flying at this point. So what we're going to do, we're going to return to the garage and we're going to see how the rest of the field is faring. And obviously skip ahead, so you can see we're almost a second faster. Nobody's out on track at this point in time, which is not a shock to me. But nonetheless, that was the end of qualifying. Obviously, starting pretty high up. We've got pretty good form in qualifying. Race doesn't seem to be as strong. Over one lap, we're definitely faster because we can push the car to its limits. Obviously, throughout the race, you know, we're quite conservative in the fact of actually trying to keep the car, you know, worse for wear, like with the gearbox and stuff like that. But it's going to be interesting to see what we can do. Round here shouldn't be too bad, and hopefully if we can get another win, that'd be even better. But you can see we've got the BWT car there, looking beautiful in its pink. It's actually Antoine Hubert's car, given the French sponsors on the car. But we're starting on the front row. It's going to be interesting to see the run down to the line. Our starts haven't been great. Especially most of the season, to be fair. The only race we had a decent start was Baku, and that was obviously the leading from pole. So that was not a very long run to the line. Obviously here it's quite a bit longer for ourselves, but we're going to have a look at the grid now, see how the rest of the field stacks up, and especially in comparison to our rivals. Jordan King, P2, and this man has been giving us headaches so far the entire way this season. Antoine Hubert P4, teammate P5, Aitken 6th, Alesi 7th, Mazepin, great qualifying in 8th, Boccolacci down in 10th, that's not great for him. Luca Gito P14, Nick De Vries 16th, it's crazy how slow he is, and no one's surprised, Mahavira Gunnathan P20, Nicholas Latifi P19, that's awful. No, that's really, really bad, like, that's mad. It's really, really mad. But nonetheless, we're ready to line up on the grid. So it's going to be good fun, and hopefully we can see if we can hold on to this and see what we can do on our way down to turn 1. But wait for the grid to reform as we get this Grand Prix underway. It's just going to be an interesting one. See if we can make good from what we did in Baku. But we're ready for the 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are underway. Little bit of wheel spin, nothing too drastic. King gets a better drive out of about second gear. So King's going to pass us before we even get into the braking zone. Pretty good start compared to everyone else. So maybe King has had a really good start, but let's see if we can hold around the outside. Eilert goes for a lunge into turn 1. We managed to cover him off, no problem whatsoever. So we're going to stick in the slipstream of our rival Jordan King, and you never know, maybe able to pounce on him a little bit later into the lap. But even through this right-hander, he's very slow, so he's not running a lot of aero. I found that with the AI on this series, they don't run a lot of downforce on their cars, so that's definitely an opportunity to gain some margins. As we skip on to lap 2, purple sector 1, we're going to go nice sweeping wide into turn 4. Get on the power nice and early, and maybe chance around the outside of Jordan King if possible. It's going to be really tight around here. Hopefully he doesn't squeeze us. We're going to go side by side all the way through here, on the way down to turn 6, and we're still side by side. It looks like we're going to be side by side for 7 and 8 as we go round the outside once again. We have the inside for the next corner, and we managed to get the job done on Jordan King. That was a fantastic job from us, as we managed to hold on to that position. But we're going to have a look at a replay and just see how that battle went. So obviously round the outside at turn 5. It's a lot better, but obviously, given how far he was ahead going into the braking zone, not a surprise that obviously he managed to keep the position all the way up until about turn 7, and halfway through turn 8, he's already lost it. So that was a very good job from us, as we've got a little bit of damage on our car. Aesthetic damage is really weird on this game. It's super weird, but obviously we're pushing at this point, trying to build a gap to Jordan King, get him out of DRS, and obviously we set the fastest lap. Extra points, you know, it's always handy, obviously, to make sure that we get a pretty decent lead in the championship. But moving on to lap 6 now, we're just pushing, chugging away. We've got a 2-second gap to King. Obviously, eventually we're going to have to start looking at our gearbox wear and, make sure that we're keeping that above board. We don't want a repeat of Bahrain, unfortunately. So it's a pretty dead race, to be fair. Like, nothing was really happening. Obviously, coming in on the end of lap 6 to set our new tyres and our only pit stop for the race with any luck. But it's an interesting one. I seem to have the measure of King. So King has obviously pretty much been there the entire season so far. We've always been racing against him and cars around him. But when it comes to the race, he's not got astounding pace. Like, don't get me wrong. Usually in the sprint races, he's a lot faster. But you can see he pulls in just ahead of us. We actually get held a little bit. I'm not sure why. We don't have any cars come in. So 6.4 is not great. Obviously, King comes out, then I'm followed by Ilot. But P11 is not too bad. Ragunathan is currently in the points. That's a miracle. But nonetheless, we're going to see if King can find some extra pace from somewhere, like, maybe throw him a bone or something like that. We're going to come across the line to start lap 8 for ourselves, and obviously, naturally, how Formula 2 works, especially in this game. On the 25%, everyone comes out relative to where they are, and you see Schumacher's up to P4, so Mick's done an absolute banger of a job there to get his car up to P4. We set another fastest lap. Not a great first sector, but purple middle and a decent final sector, so that's not too bad. Lap 11, you can see we've again gaining the gap to Jordan King, 4 seconds, and then 8.3 seconds to our teammate Alesi P5. Alesi's done really well, but coming through here, well, I'll just let you have a look. How he did not damage the front wing, I have no idea. We just dropped it on the exit of the curb. Islet tries to go around him outside. We're going to squeeze him off, maybe give Mick an opportunity. And we just absolutely just dropped it on the exit of the curb. I think our skid block got stuck on the sausage curb, and we just went round. Like, it was not great. You can't really see from this angle. So obviously on power here, and before we even get to the curbing, we're already pretty much round. So again, somehow he didn't damage our car. Obviously, I've got a little bit of a chunk missing out of the nose, but again, that's obviously just for aesthetics. So we've got a bit of a gap to close down to King now. We've got a 2-second gap. Obviously, now we're pushing, not really caring about our gearbox. At this point, I was just so disappointed in myself, so I just wanted to actually make it back up to him, pass him, and then maybe if my gearbox is critical, then just hold him up a little bit. And we know we've got the pace on him, so obviously if we can catch up to King, then obviously, that'll be pretty ideal for ourselves, as we're just chugging along there. You can see the gap's coming down, 1.4. Nick De Vries is out of the session. We've got a safety car here with 3 laps to go. Very weird. I've never seen a safety car come out this late. I actually thought that perhaps maybe we'd finish under the safety car, maybe have like 1 lap to go. So it was very, very interesting to say the least. But safety car's coming in for a final lap. We've got 1 lap to make the move on King. We are right up his gearbox, and hopefully you can see we're all round the side of him, just trying to get a good run out of the final corner. We didn't line him up properly. If we was in his slipstream the whole time, we probably would have caught him, very similar to in Bahrain. But we're going down the start finish straight in his slipstream. We don't care about our gearbox. You can see on the MFD that it's actually glowing red. So we're just throwing caution to the wind here. Maybe trying to go a little bit wide for King. Maybe try and set him up through to the braking zone in turn 5. But the dirt, it's just not helping us out whatsoever. But we're still going to hold on tight to King. Schumacher, hopefully, maybe he can get past Alesi. It's going to be tricky to get past King on the last lap. He's going to make his car the widest F2 car you'll ever see. But you can see we get on the traction a lot earlier, and it's not that much advantage. So King's pushing now as well. Obviously, he wants this win. We're going to have a look down his inside. It's going to be tight. We make a bit of contact, and we're going to have to let King go there. That was a very audacious move. Some would say it was a bit panicky, but coming into the final few corners, he goes slow through the chicane. We're going to dive it down his inside. We're going to squeeze him on the curb. Managed to go around his outside there. That was absolutely disgusting. And on the final corner of turn 15, we're actually going to come across the line and take the win in Spain in the feature race. And that was absolutely outrageous from ourselves that we managed to squeeze down his inside. That was absolutely, it was good. It was very, very good. We did really well to get that position at the end. Obviously, we was a bit audacious going into turn 5, diving up his inside. Didn't quite work out for ourselves, but we managed to get past him just on traction alone. Like, I think he pushed his tyres too far at the end of the race, probably overheated them, and obviously keeping tyres in the right temps is crucial in this game. The window is fleeting, to say the least, but we get another dub. That's the 3 in a row in this career mode. Mick Schumacher, great P4, so he's going to start ahead of us for tomorrow's race, but it's definitely going to be interesting, to say the least. It was satisfying to know we've got the pace on King. I think that's something we can take forward for the rest of the career mode. Harry Jacks and JD there standing in suits, so they'll be handing out the trophies, which is pretty cool nonetheless. But we're celebrating our 3rd win of the season and our 3rd win in a row. So given our pace around here, if we can get the win in the sprint race, then that would be fantastic. Jordan King, however, I'm sure he'll have something to say about that. He's only starting 1 position ahead of us, but Jordan King is definitely our rival, and he's definitely going to be a pain in the butt for the rest of the season, most likely. But obviously we will celebrate with our team. We're going to have a look at the standings in just a second, and you can see we've got a 30-second gap to Boccolacci. King obviously having that little bad run of form, he's struggling a bit, but that's been it for this year, guys. If you have enjoyed, please do slap a like on it. It really does help me out massively. If you're new on there, please subscribe for more Formula 1 content, and that's been it for me, guys. I'll see you for the sprint race. Till then, guys, bye bye.